This is the Samsung Galaxy S10, and it is my go-to smartphone for shooting videos and photos for both social media and for professional B-roll. But one of the ways that I love to enhance the smartphone is to use moment lenses. So this is the Moment Anamorphic lens. It's the newest Moment lens that I picked up recently, and it's been out for about a year. And I really love this lens because it allows you to give that really cinematic look to a lot of your footage as you're shooting it. To use the anamorphic lens with your smartphone, you have to get the Moment photo case that is catered to fit your particular smartphone. So this is my Samsung Galaxy S10 with the Moment photo case made for that phone. And so with that phone case, I can take my Moment lens and just twist and attach it to the front. When you're shooting with the anamorphic lens and trying to get cinematic footage, you really need added stability. And so a lot of the native camera phone apps have some stability that are really great for shooting handheld, but when you're using the anamorphic lens in particular, you actually have to use either the Filmic Pro app or the Moment photo app. And the problem with those apps is that even though they have some built-in stability, they're not as good as Samsung's native stability or using a gimbal. And so for that reason, I've actually been shooting with the anamorphic lens and a gimbal, in particular, this Moza Mini S gimbal. And so I have another video talking all about this Moza Mini S. And one of the biggest features, though, that I love about it is the fact that it can fold basically in half. And it just becomes super compact. It's really easy to stick this into my go-to camera bag and just take this on the road with me whenever I need it. And so with the Moza Mini S, I'm going to show you how you can attach a smartphone with a Moment lens and get to filming with it. So with the Moza Mini S, you want to first attach a mini tripod to the bottom. There is a 1/4-inch screw at the bottom, and so you can attach really any kind of mini tripod or a bigger tripod mount if you please. But with the mini tripod, that just allows you to set the gimbal right in front of you, and you can get to work on it, because there are a few things you have to do before you put the phone on the gimbal. So the other thing you want to do is also unlock this front axis here so that this part can move about freely. And the other problem, so currently if I were to put the phone with the anamorphic lens into the gimbal, it's going to be a pretty big problem because of the weight of this lens. Even though it's a relatively small and compact lens, it's enough to really throw off the gimbal. And I don't want to power it on, but even if I power it on, the gimbal's motor isn't quite strong enough to compensate for the weight of that lens. Really the only way to get around that is to purchase a counterweight. And you can get these from Moment Lens, and you can actually screw on more weights or take off weights as you need them. But you have to experiment to see how much weight you actually need. But this counterweight attaches to the gimbal, and it just adds enough weight so that the gimbal can compensate for that added lens in the front. And so with this counterweight, it's pretty simple. There's a weight and a strap, and it attaches through Velcro. And where you put that on the gimbal really depends on which gimbal you're using, but through my experimentation, I found that for the Moza Mini S, it actually makes the most sense and works best if you attach the weight right here to the front. I also tried putting it on the side, and that actually adds too much weight to this side. So putting it right there is about where you want it to be. And so again, do this very carefully. So now we have the counterweight attached, and it looks a little uneven, but that's why we now, very carefully, add the smartphone with the Moment lens attached. And then we're going to go ahead and power on the gimbal. All right, and when that gimbal is powered on, as you can see, the phone can actually balance pretty well thanks to that counterweight. So that counterweight really helps the phone and the anamorphic lens. And now I can just take this and go out and start filming with my Moment lens on my smartphone. So I'm going to take this out, grab some cinematic footage, and show you the results.